Hi guys, Dan again. Been a little while since I posted a video. I haven't had a chance to do much, and I haven't had really any supplies, I guess you'd say. So I finally got the time and got a few extra bits and bobs to start doing some more work on the layout, and I'll show you what I've picked up. Picked up some more static grass, some Heki static grass, which I think this is actually pretty nice colour. Sort of almost like a burnt old grass type look. Also got some of the knock or notch. Not exactly sure how you say it, but got some of their static grass as well. Some of the sort of the dark green, and also some of the sort of lighter, I guess they call it wild grass, but sort of half spring green type colour. And got some earth blend. I'm going to try and put this down as a base rather than the green earth blend as a base, just to see how it works, because the green's actually really good if I'm not going to put static grass in these areas here, which I may or may not do at the moment, but that's good for if you don't want to do that. And this one I thought would be good as an actual base sort of coat as well. So that's good. And I also picked this up, which is something a little bit quirky, but I couldn't resist it for $5 in the bargain basement bin there. Little notch or knock mini golf course. So just made out of styrene, yeah. So I thought that was sort of, got to paint it up and everything like that. But it's quite well detailed, as most. It's made out of the same stuff as they make their retaining walls, things like that. And I'm thinking about actually putting some of their retaining walls along that part of the layout along there as well. Still thinking about that though, because they are quite expensive, and I need probably about 10 of them. So yeah, new spray bottle. And another big thing of PVA, 1 litre of PVA, and a couple of girder bridge sides as well, to actually put on this section here. So, bit to do. I'll get going, and I will check in as I've done a little bit more. I just realised I should quickly explain what I'm doing with these backdrops here. I've just testing them. I haven't actually stuck them up yet, so a few of you who thought, oh, that's a pretty dodgy job, what he's done there, stuck them up like that with sticky tape. Yeah, just testing them and seeing where they all fit. I thought down here might be a nice spot to have sort of an industrial scene, sort of down low, under the bridge type area, then up there where we're going to have platforms and things, actually in front of that track there, not behind it now, in front. And yeah, then you've got this sort of city scene in the background and parking spots for the railway and all that sort of thing. And then it sort of blends into, well, it will blend in over there once I finish with it, into mountains and things like that. The mountain up in the corner there, which is where the bridge goes across, and I'll have some water down there and that sort of thing. And then if we zoom in here, I've just been playing around, and I'm sorry about the graininess, but I've just been playing around with the backdrops there, basically with the sort of Tudor style houses there, and I've got my Tudor style pub there just to see what it looks like, and then mountains over to the side there. There's a little village scene up there behind the bridge. So yeah, just sticking them there to see how they look for the moment. Okay, so what I've done tonight is finally get some earth blend. It's very gluey and drippy at the moment, but some earth blend along this part of the mountain here. And I will have better lights set up in here eventually. I just don't have them at the moment. So I've got the just the earth blend put on there, and still looks a bit rough, but of course there'll be other layers and static grass and whatnot on there. So that's just to start that off, and then I've added some static grass sort of from here and along. Still wet at the moment, so it doesn't show up too well on video when it's wet. It actually, I'm looking through the video now, and I'm thinking it looks much better to the naked eye, but not just an excuse I'm using, it is true. Yeah, no, I think when that's dry, I think that'll look quite good, and also it sort of blends these rocks in a lot more, and you've sort of got tufts of grass growing off the side of the rocks there too, and blending it in quite nicely. So I think that static grass goes quite well. I'll probably even do these sections here with static grass, and certainly that middle section there as well. I just think it creates a good effect, and I was just a little bit sick of the really, the dark green. It's not bright, some dark green, but when I sort of dull it down a little bit with some burnt green grass, there. So yeah, I'll keep going and get a bit more happening. Well, it's the next night, and the static grass has had a fair old amount of time to dry. It's not completely dry just yet, but I think it has come up really quite well. I'm really happy with that. Still being fairly new to static grass. I realise it's been used by a lot of people for a long time, but I'm sort of still fairly new to it, and I just reckon it's a fantastic product. And I really like that colour too. I'll bring you back a bit. You can see all the way along there, and it just sort of dulls down the brightness of it and makes it look a bit more realistic meadow type colour, and yeah, really like it. So I'll keep going with a little bit more right now. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to blend in where I've got that static grass there. I'm just trying to blend in the dark green areas here, and I want to try and blend them in first with a little bit of earth scatter first. So what I've got here is some wet water. Just water with a couple of drops of dishwashing liquid in it, and just spraying on them first, just wetting the area. I mean, this is all stuff that we all know about, and I've just got the same earth. Actually, to mix this one, I've got a bit of green and a bit of dark earth in it as well, and just a really light scattering on it, because I still want some of the darker green to actually show through, just to see how it sort of looks there. And it doesn't matter if I get some on the ballasting that's already there. I mean, a lot of this is just about experimentation with colours and things like that, and you know, I sort of look back on it and I sort of think, there's a lot of colours there that I don't really like. They just don't seem to go together, and but when you start actually adding colour to it, or other layers of colour to it, it brings everything sort of to life. And you can see there that I've just sort of, you know, this green here was that green there, and in a second I'll show you. In fact, I'll show you now while I'm here. I'll spray the area with some wet water like that. So it's not actually Windex, although interesting to see if that actually worked. If anyone tries that and it doesn't work, don't blame me. Alright, so let's get a little light coating of the scatter. It actually looks a lot darker on camera, but it's really not that dark. But I don't know, it just sort of makes everything look just that bit more burnt, I suppose. Bit like probably a lot of the landscape, a lot of the grass that we see in Australia here, where you'll have patches of very lush sort of green grass and then patches of burnt. I notice over in watching videos that you guys shoot in the UK, train spotting, and on your days out and things like that, that there's a lot of very sort of lush grass around the UK and things like that, and that's obviously because you get a heck of a lot more rain, which is not a good thing, but it does keep everything nice and moist and healthy, whereas we get a lot of, well, not at the moment we don't, but we usually get a bit of sun, and that tends to burn the grass. And that's why I like this colour as a static grass, and you can see right there that the bright green grass has been just dulled down, really. And you can see sort of up the back as well, so it's all layers. Right, so now what I'm going to do is trying to attach these bridge girders. They're the Pico ones, the same ones as I used last time. I haven't actually painted them yet, but I will be doing that, and I'm going to give the Humbrol range of paints a go. When I get to that, I'll just grab another bit of glue stick, and all that I do here at this point is put the glue on nice and thick, and very quickly. Oh, and not on your finger, because, oh man, ouch, ouch. Whew. Just some of the injuries you can get when model railroading, eh? Whew, man, that was hot. Okay, problem is it stays hot for about 5 seconds, and it's generally not even enough time for me to get it in place. But the good thing is, what you can do is, if you haven't made it, you can pull it straight off, and put it back on again. Now I've actually put that in slightly the wrong spot there because I want it to come under the MDF a little bit. And because I want it to cover the wires, because I've got wires going under there, and I just want to have it under enough that I can cover it a little bit, which I sort of can. So yeah, it's just cheating a little bit, but you know, just sort of thinking outside the square a little bit, I suppose. You got to try these things. If they don't work, it's you know, you start all over again, and that can be just for a part of the layout. You start all over again, or it can be for you know, the entire layout. I mean, if it's not working for you, or if you're a bit sick of it, you there's nothing to stop you from starting again. The good thing is about model railroading is that a lot of the parts that you have on it, you know, apart from the scenic scatter and things like that, but a lot of the parts that you have on it are sort of interchangeable onto your next layout. So, you know, once you've got the full setup, you just need to add little bits and pieces to it. And well, the old finger's still stinging a bit because it was pretty hot, but that actually doesn't look too bad. I'll bring you around and I'll show you around here. So there you go. Doesn't look too bad along there. And as I say, I did it so that, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to actually hide these wires here. Now they'll actually go up behind that little lipped over section. You can sort of see under there, that lipped over section there. They'll go under that. And should all look fine once it's done, hopefully. And that's the look of it so far. So we have the bridge on both sides, and wires 1, 2, 3. In fact, that middle one I probably won't use, but that one and that one I'll have some lights on there, and that track will be a little bit more centralised, and I'll have probably a bit of a path going along there or something like that. And but yeah, I think it's quite a nice sort of entry, I guess. And yeah, see if I can show you an entry into the sort of industrial area. And you know, once it's weathered, and I've got some brick sort of around, you know, that pylon there, and some brick up there and whatnot, and the wires hidden, and so it's really not even close to being finished, of course. But I mean, it's you know, it's a start, and sometimes it just takes that little bit to get the inspiration to do the rest of it. The thing that I'll do here is I'm just going to put some Metcalf brick or something along there, or you know, bushes or something like that, just to do a little bit of cheating there, I think, and same there, and I'll probably sort of put some dressed grit stone on that or something. And yes, so I think it should look all right once that little bridge is done. I started doing some more static grass over this side here. A little bit more there, as you can see, very light scattering, and I wanted to get rid of the bright green over here. And so I started doing that, and lo and behold, my static applicator died. I think the batteries have finally gone kaput, so I'll have to get a couple of new batteries for it. I'm hoping that's what it is, because if it's not the batteries, I don't want to have to buy another static applicator. So, but I'm sure it's just the batteries. I've given them a fair bit of a flogging over the past couple of months, and especially over the past couple of nights with all this static grass, which I think looks quite good. And then I've sort of blended in more of that bright green. And look, I think I'll leave that for the moment. I'm thinking I might leave it. And I've just taken away from that green a little bit. Not everything has to have static grass on it, because bearing in mind that probably along this area here and along the median sort of strip there, and along probably even not so much there, but along those areas there, I'll have pine trees and other trees and things like that. Probably get the notch trees for that. I quite like their pine trees. Well, I think that's it. once again, thanks for being patient. It's been a long time since I've posted anything, and finally getting back into it again, which is good. Good for me. I've missed getting out here, so getting out here a lot more and working on station and tracks and doing some more plastering right up the back there. And that's a slow process, but it's a bit by bit process, as we all know. And you know, when you can get a good result at the end of the night, or what you feel to be a good result. You know, everyone has their own ideas on what a good result is. I think this is a good result for me, but you know, to others it might not be their cup of tea. But if you can get a good result that you feel happy with at the end of the night, you know, that's what it's all about. So yeah, can't wait to see some trains running, and catch up with you all later. Thank you again very much for watching, and thanks to all the new subscribers as well. Appreciate that, and look forward to catching up with you all again soon. Cheers.